of it. That means how, with proper respect and all of those things, it translates. So a universal translator might come in handy for us. Now, same way, so it will listen to each person says in their own language and instantly translate it into a language everyone else can understand. So now the SAP CPI is little bit similar. So in layman terms, it's similar, but at technological front, this is quite well advanced. Okay, it's not just a translator, but as of now, it's doing the job. Okay, so it comes into the center of the picture. Now there are so many different applications, so many different business personnel. So all of these people are representing different people who are part of your business. They are associated with different business aspects. Now all of them have to interact with each other. If there is no common ground, it becomes difficult for them to do direct integrations. Many applications can do direct application, like this one and this one are directly interacting, but this is not directly interacting with this entity, this entity, this entity, this entity. Okay. So there is a need for this kind of a solution in between. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So how does it works, or how is it placed in the real business scenario? So this is depicting a picture where you are showcasing that in a business landscape, you connect with cloud applications, you connect with different types of on-premise applications, you might be interacting with different types of business partner and their applications. We might be interacting with mobile applications. We might be interacting with social media platforms as well. And we might be interacting with public authorities also. That is the government sites or government portals or their tools and applications. So SAP CPI is like that universal translator, but for different software systems. So in the business world, companies use various software applications like ERP, CRM, etc. that often need to share information and communication with each other. Right? However, these applications might speak different languages. So here languages mean they use different types of message formats. They use different types of protocols for communication and interaction. So the way they interact with each other is different. So that is why they can't directly talk to each other. So now SAP CPI helps these different systems to communicate with each other seamlessly by translating and integrating their data in real time. Okay, and it just doesn't help them in integrating, but it also helps them in business processing. So if I get a file from here, and then there is a business process involved that this data should be treated with all of these business rules, and depending upon those business rules, the source file itself changes to a different level, and then only it is passed to public authority. So we do that processing also over here. It's not like just directly we are sending or receiving. Okay, we will understand, we will be going through all of these things in detail every day. So now, to understand it with a analogy, I have given this analogy where we are comparing it with a toy train set. Okay, so here the train is like the data that is moving between different computer systems. These are your stations. Okay, and the train is the data, is like the data moving between the different computer system. The toys on the train are the messages or pieces of information that need to be delivered. There are messages that we are delivering, right? Source message, target message. So toys that we keep on top of that train, on that toy train, are the messages or the pieces of information that we are delivering. While the tracks on which the train is running is the integration flow that is guiding the train, that is the data, to make sure the toys, that is the messages, get to the right place. Okay, so the very first thing you will do is you will lay down the tracks. So that's what we do. The very first thing that we do is we create the integration flow. It's like the tracks that you are laying down for the train. And on top of that track, you place the train. And on top of that train, you place the toys. So your toys are the messages that are being transported from one endpoint to another, from source to destination. So I'll give you a case study because integration suite is something that's not very a generic kind of a tool or language about which when you discuss with your friends, you will get to know, how much demand is there in the market and how many jobs are there, all of those things. So sometimes people have a feeling that, this might not be such a hit solution, but it's actually not that. It's the other way around. It is a very niche skill. So there are very less developers, there are very less people who have this skill, who have knowledge of this tool. So their value is even more. It all depends on supply demand, right? So if everyone is a Java developer, the demand is more and the supply is more, and then the demand looks like it is not so much. But where in this case, because there are very less developers who know this technology, who know this skill, they are very less. So there is demand, but there is no supply. So that ways it makes it a niche skill for us to know. Now we are going through a case study where how Coca-Cola company applied this technology to optimize their supply chain. It's from a manufacturing industry background, okay, and the solutions used are cloud integration, API management, and open connector. We will be learning about all three of them. So the challenges that they were facing, why did they even need it? So they were facing certain challenges. So they are working across the globe. They're working in so many countries, and they have so many areas, regions in which they are supplying so many things. So there was little bit of fragmentation in the supply chain system across the regions. So the supply chain might have been very well in India, but maybe it was not so good in the Philippines. Okay, so it was a fragmented supply chain system across regions. Because of that, there were frequent stockouts that were happening and delayed inventory updates. So because there is a delay in the inventory updates, like what all is getting over and what will you require in the upcoming future. That was not updated on time, that led to the frequent stockouts. High operational cost due to manual processing. There were a lot of processes that were still being done manually, which was creating high operational cost. Now, if I give you a very layman example, like if I go to a store and I want to buy Coca-Cola for my party, so I was planning to get two big bottles. Now, because Coke was not available, I will choose maybe some other alternative. So now they are losing on to the money that I would have spent on their product. Rather, I paid that money to their competitors. So it's a loss for their company and a profit for another company, which makes it even worse. So if I would have not purchased anything, they would have just lost a part of the shares. But when I start going and using some other, so maybe instead of that, I purchased the drinks from boat company. Okay. And then I realized, oh, Coca-Cola was such a waste of money. I should now from future start buying the boat drinks only. So now they lost a customer altogether. Why? Because there was a stock out. If that day there would have been stock, this would have never happened. So it looks like it's a very simple thing, but on a global level, when it accumulates the number of times this happening, then you can see that, there is a lot of loss in the finances. So the implementation that was done and which can be highlighted is Coca-Cola leveraged SAP integration suite to unify its supply chain system across multiple geographies. They used open connectors to integrate with third-party logistics and retail platforms. And they enabled real-time inventory tracking and automated the replenishment process. So now because this is happening on real time and there is an automated process, so maybe it checks in my warehouse that, there are only last 10 crates of Coke remaining, and I can predict the future that as it's weekend, so we might get more demand. So automatically new order will be placed. It may not be approved directly automatically, but at least some automation can be achieved over here, with the help of which the manager or whoever the staff is, they will at least realize that, they need to place the, replenishment details, and then they approve it, and then that is processed. So this resulted in 10% increase in sales due to optimized inventory and faster order fulfillment. 10% increase in sale is very huge for them. Okay. 30% reduction in stockouts, improving customer satisfaction. 50 million USD in annual saving through automation and reduced manual intervention. Now, this is not a made up story. You can find the story. I have the link also. If anyone wants to go through it, I can share it. Okay. So this was just one company. Same way, a lot of companies acquired or, decided that we will be going and using SAP integration suite for our betterment. Okay, for our transformations. So that led to approximately 345% return on investment over 3 years. 30% increase in integration developers efficiency. So we as developers also are getting benefit from it. There were a lot of things that we were coding manually, and now because we have all of the automated components available, we don't require to code all of those things, and that reduces the time to development, right? So total, there has been certain incremental profit over the last 3 years, and how much ever you are investing in this technology. So I will have to purchase a subscription from SAP, right? That's not free of cost. I'll be paying something. So within 6 months of time, you are getting it back into the interest that you are, or the increment in the sales and profits that you are getting within 6 months of time. That brings us to the end of just the introduction of this SAP CPI platform. Let's go through the technical PPT for this one.
Is
Yes.
if possible, can you mark my attendance manually, ma'am?
Mm, I can't mark for anyone as of now because we have missed the half an hour timeline. See,
Actually, ma'am, from yesterday to heavy rain, there is a network issue. So I'm not able to join.
I understand your point. You are not understanding my point. I am saying the attendance itself is not marked for anyone because we have to close this attendance in half an hour. That's why I
Ma'am,
was
is this,
asking na that time when I start teaching, I will forget time. Now this is gone.
ma'am, one attendance matter?
Okay, what is your ID?
Ma'am, Deepak.
Ma'am, Harsh Raj too.
Deepak, your attendance is already marked. I don't see your name here.
No,
No,
ma'am,
ma'am,
Okay, the
on
first.
third number.
Okay,
Ma'am,
okay.
Harsh Raj, below Deepak, Harsh
yes,
Raj.
ma'am, this one, third one.
Ma'am, Srishti also.
Where?
Last. Srishti.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to go through the overview of SAP Integration Suite. So, what were the integration business scenarios that were there because of which there is a need for having this tool in between? Okay, so most companies are adopting best of breed cloud application along with the core ERP to deliver more functionality and stay ahead in the competition. So every business has got their own transformation journey. They have their own competitive journey. So they will keep on evolving. They will keep on upgrading the technological things, right? So when they are doing this, also they might be expanding their business. So maybe earlier they were just, creating chocolates. Now they decided that they will create chips and beverages, and maybe later on they decide they want to enter the cosmetic industry also. Then they want to enter the retail business also. So there is a lot of expansions. There are a lot of work that keep on adding on top of the company's business. Now, when that is happening, all of the different applications that they created can be hosted on different types of cloud environment or the on-premise environment. So they have their core ERP. Along with that, they might be wanting to deliver all sorts of functionalities. Now, because they are trying to achieve so much and their ecosystem becomes hybrid, because the existing applications and solutions might still be on the on-premise systems, but whereas the new applications that they have developed, they might have deployed it on the cloud-based environment, leading to a complex system. Okay, there are certain applications. So this is representing your different types of core systems that are platform-based systems. Some of them are on the on-premise environment, some are hosted on the cloud environment. Whereas you have certain SaaS applications, software as a service applications, like SuccessFactor, we read about Ariba, Fieldglass, Concur, all of those. Same way, now these are just SAP related applications. There can be non-SAP related applications also. Now, this is leading us to a hybrid and a complex infrastructure. How is the communication going to happen between them? So that's why it's depicted with a question mark. So for that, we require this SAP cloud integration. Now, what is this SAP process integration, process orchestration? So this same thing has been developed from past 20 years, but it was evolving. So it was very generic, and it was, the name itself was also different. It was called as XI, Exchange Infrastructure, 20 years back. So then that product kept on evolving, and it evolved to a level where it was called process integration, process orchestration. We will be understanding about it almost at the end of our course. Okay, so mostly like next month. So we will be seeing. So this is the on-premise tool for the same job, that is for integration. And now this, because this is an old tool, it did not had so many new features, new capabilities. Okay, so this is the old tool and this is the latest new thing. So they are saying that these two will come into the picture in between and make sure that the communication is happening seamlessly. Okay. So the integration challenges that we were getting were maintaining hybrid landscapes with multiple on-premise and SaaS application. With the changing landscapes, there are different types of applications that we need to integrate with. During data integrity between on and off-premise application. So there are certain applications that are on-premise, then there are certain applications that are on the cloud environment. Now the data integrity should be ensured when there is a communication between both of these. Now imagine if we are working for a banking domain client, and if the data integrity is not maintained, there will be so much loss of money that will happen, right? And along with that, if it benefits the customer, well and good, they will be happy. What if it doesn't benefits the customer? They will be upset. They will withdraw from that bank that, the services are not correct. We don't want to, keep our accounts in this bank. So we require data integrity between these different types of platforms. So because the hybrid is so landscape is so hybrid and complex, the implementation cost is also higher. There becomes a fragile data security because we are doing interaction between so many different types of application and so many different types of environment. When the data is being transported, we might not be able to apply proper security using the old tools and techniques that were available. So some, hacker or someone can send malicious code, they can send malicious command, maybe they can send SQL injection attacks. So the data security was also a concern previously. We have to adhere to complex regulatory and compliance needs. So every industry has to comply with the basic standards of that industry, right? So if I am a food manufacturer, I have to stick to the rules and regulation of FSSAI, right? Same way, different organization, different companies have to stick to their compliances. So it's not just depending upon the industry that you work on, but also on the country in which you are regulating, in which you are operating. So you will have to abide. So now it was again a difficult task that, I have to implement these things technologically, but the government doesn't approve of my ways of doing things. Then we need some solution for it. So this was another challenge. Now, complicated monitoring options. Now, if I have such a distributed environment and if I want to monitor everything, do I go and monitor each and every application? No, I want a landscape picture. I want a consolidated picture of how things are working in my whole environment, whole landscape. So the monitoring was also complex previously. Scarcity of real-time business process integrations. So earlier there was scarcity of having real integrations that were already in place. So there were integrations in place, but they were not so efficient. So with this SAP cloud integration, we try to resolve all of those challenges and issues that we talked about. So again, over here, they are depicting that there is a SAP on-premise system that we have to interact with. We have a non-SAP system, which is also hosted on the on-premise servers. Then you have non-SAP cloud applications. And then you have SAP cloud applications also. So this can be your SAP HANA system that is on the on-premise system. This can be any of the, Oracle database or something that you have on your on-premise system. This can be your Google or Azure storage that you are interacting with. And this can be your SuccessFactors or Concur or any of those sort of applications that you are interacting with. Now, when all of this are interacting, we have placed SAP Cloud Integration in the center of it so that the communication is easier. Now, what is it depicting? It's not just how you communicate, but there are a lot of advantages that you get when you start using this SAP Cloud Integration. So what all are we getting? This is specially designed for the cloud environment. So this service is hosted on the cloud environment. It was engineered and designed for cloud environment. Here we get multi-level security. So at message level also we are getting security. At transport level also we are getting security. Okay. Then there are pre-packaged integration flows. So which means there are solutions that are standard, that are designed in a way that they help, in implementation faster. So if if I give you a task, right? And now the task has 5 steps. Out of those 5 steps, 3 steps are standard steps. And I give you the help of those 3 steps that are standard steps. I give you the solution. Wouldn't it be faster for you to achieve that whole solution? Because now you have to just create 2 more solutions on your own. And you are not starting from scratch, right? So you have a reference point in terms of how it has to be implemented. Community and marketplace. So again, we read that there is a community and marketplace on the this Cloud Foundry environment. How does the community help? Anyone wants to highlight that? We already read about the community page and all of those things. The question is related to that only. So there will be people who will be creating solutions. They will be hosting it online, and then the other developers can use their solutions. They don't have to build the solution from scratch. So like if there is an alert mechanism that someone else has already created and implemented, they have created a use case study and shared it into the community. When I want to create my alerting mechanism, I don't have to build it from scratch. I can go through the case study. I can try to understand how it is implemented and how it is beneficial. And maybe it looks like something that is, best for me. I can directly take that alerting mechanism and associate it with my application. I don't have to build my own alerting mechanism from scratch. So now SAP Strategic Cloud Integration, middleware and key of SAP's cloud integration strategy. Guys, please go on mute. There's some disturbance coming on. So SAP Cloud Integration is their strategic middleware that they have introduced, and it's key to their SAP's cloud integration strategy. It is hosted on SAP HANA platform. It integrates processes and the data. Integration with cloud to cloud and cloud to on-premise applications will work with the help of this. What are the benefits? We are leveraging onto SAP's deep integration expertise in the cloud. So with the help of pre-packaged content, we are going to use their expertise. So they have experience of past 50 years in providing business solutions. So they have been providing business solutions from the time we were not even born. So imagine the level of experience they have. Now, if you group all of that experience into a package and give it to the developers, it's going to benefit the developers, right? So same thing is happening over here. They have gathered it all together into standard implementation, and we can directly use those implementations. Strong focus on security, including database isolation and support for key security protocols. So there is a strong focus that is given to the security aspect of the integration side also. So as we read, security first approach is something that is followed everywhere now. Multi-tenancy. So earlier with the on-premise tool, it was difficult to have multi-tenancy. But with the cloud environment, we can easily achieve multi-tenancy. Multiple tenants can be there for the same project. Automated failover recovery. So
Your mic has been muted now.
yeah. So in the automated failover, what happens is that if on the server there is a failover that is happening, so automatically another server will start taking the load. So if in my production environment I have 3 servers on top of which my applications are hosted, and with the help of load balancer, I am already managing that on the 3 servers, the load is balanced. But one server fails, then the whole system will not crash, because or the request that were going to the server number 1, they will not get error, because automatically the load will be shifted to the remaining 2 servers. And we don't have to do anything about that. That is done from the backend itself, from the SAP side itself. Rolling off the software updates. Again, SAP will take care of those things, scalability and subscription-based usage. We can scale up our environment. So maybe today we start with our solutions. So we just need the basic resources. But gradually within 1 year, 2 year, 4 year, or 5 years down the line, my business expands. I need to scale it up. I can do that easily. Pre-packaged integration content. On the first line itself, I said there is pre-packaged integration content. So we can use that. Yes, Harsh, you have a doubt? Ashish and Harsh want to say something?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask how SAP is different from AWS. They are also providing lot of things similar to this.
So see, same solution can be provided by multiple companies. Even Microsoft provides integration solutions. Dell provides integration solutions. IBM provides integration solutions, but it is going to be your choice, right? Which company you opt for. They are all competitors. Like there is Coke, there is Pepsi, there is Fanta, there is Mirinda, what all. They all are providing you same beverage, but they are all just different, right? It is like that.
Okay, ma'am.
So there are a lot of integration tools available in the market. and different organized from Oracle also it is there. Okay, so all of the big major giants will provide integration related tools or anything like database solutions, application development. All of them will provide similar things. The features and how implementation and all of those things might change, but the end goal will be similar for all of them. So we have this prepackaged content. Connectivity options offered by SAP and their partners. So there are a lot of connectivity options that are now being offered. So till the time there was this on-premise tool, there were just like 10, 12 integration options or the connectivity options that were readily available. But now there are like 250 plus connectivity options that are available. Integration contents are portable from on-premise PI system. So now, as I said, this PI system that we had earlier, this one, process integration in short is PI, and process orchestration in short is PO. Okay, so this PIPO environment which was there, because this is going to go away in 2026, so already the projects are in migration phase. They are moving their solutions from this tool to this latest tool. And the implementation, how it was done here and here are quite different. So it's not just a simple, you pick up everything from here and you put everything over here. It's not like that. You have to change those things. But the point is, yes, we have backward compatibility over here. So whatever you have created over here, we can accept those things, but just see how the implementation will be done or not. We will be going through migration also at the end. But how it is telling you the benefit, I just wanted to tell that this last one. So integration contents portable from on-premise PI system to this cloud environment is available. Okay. So when you decide to choose, okay, fine, we have decided we are going to use SAP's cloud integration. What you have to go through? You have to first talk to SAP and you will take the license. You will discuss what all services you will require, how much you are willing to pay, is it for a month, is it for a year, whatever you decide. So there will be a signing of agreement and you subscribe to the tenant. When we subscribe to the tenant, we will get a tenant which we are subscribing to, and then the SAP team will set this up for you. You will directly get the tenant. I'll show you. We have a tenant. Yes.
This is from the side of your client or from our side, developer side?
Both the ways. So again, this is not done by us as developers. The legal team will manage all of this.
Okay.
So now you see, this is a tenant. Okay. So this is a paid account, which I'm showing you right now. This is a tenant. So directly we will get this tenant's URL. So SAP team will set up the tenant for us and they will give it to us. And as developers and as administrators over here, we will directly start using that tenant. So they set it up for us and they give us the URLs. An admin person from our side will add all of the users that will be using this tenant and we start using it. So then the development starts. So you can discover the new contents that are available. You will configure the security and you will do the development that you want to do. After that, you will do certain basic deployment and then testing of the things on the same environment. You are doing all of these things. Now, when you want to move it to another tenant, so whatever you were doing development, that was on the development environment. Now, when you want to move towards production, again, they have given you the option for using the automated module, which is a transportation module. So that helps you in transporting your applications from one tenant to another. And at the end, you will be monitoring the system that you are running. So this part is your onboarding. and the remaining part is your design, run, and monitor. From infrastructure perspective, again, this is just an introduction. This is not an in-depth knowledge, but this much knowledge is good enough for now. So when we subscribe to SAP's cloud platform integration, as it is a multi-tenant environment, there can be multiple tenants that we can subscribe to. Okay. And on each of the tenant, we can have multiple virtual machine instances. We all know what virtual machine is, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
sir.
on,
Yes, yes.
so on this whole environment, you have multiple tenants. It can be n number of tenants. It's not mandatory that there are only 2 tenants. It's just a way to depict it. There can be multiple tenants. Now on these multiple tenants, we can have multiple virtual machines. Now on those virtual machines, there will be separation between the management node and the runtime environment, runtime node. So at least one management node will be there, and there can be multiple runtime nodes that are available over here, because it depends upon the usage. So if I have 2 applications, one runtime node is enough. But if I have 100 applications, I'll require more runtime nodes, right? But the one management node is good enough to manage all of these runtime nodes. It makes sure that the runtime node is up and running and all of those things. Okay. So now there is a customer who is using this tenant number 1. So, and then there is another customer who is using this tenant. So on this whole platform, there can be multiple tenants for a single customer also, then, or I can have multiple customers also on each of the tenants, depending upon our project's requirement. How much computation capabilities do we need? Okay. So now, so if I explain this in Accenture terms, so if Accenture purchases a subscription, now we take one tenant. So the one tenant is with our learning and training department. Okay, this is customer number 1. And then the other tenant is maybe with another team in the Accenture itself. Okay, so they will have an admin person who will manage the operations of all of this, who the user will be, what all services are to be activated, to manage if there is storage space available or not, to check, if all of these things are up and running, if there is a connectivity issue, all of those things are to be managed by the administrator. So they will be directly working on the management node. And as developers, we usually work on the runtime node because we will be creating applications, deploying them and running them. They already have a associated DB with each of the tenant. Okay. Now, so there is a cluster. So in the cluster, you have group of virtual machines formed by SAP Cloud Ops team. So all of this is taken care by SAP themselves. They will set it up. They will directly give us the login credentials, login information. Then there is a tenant. So tenant is your virtual machine resources allocated by the cloud team to each of their clients. Then there are nodes. So in the nodes, we have got the tenant management node, and then you have the runtime node that is also called as the worker node. Infrastructure introduction, again, from the runtime perspective, it's just telling that this tenant management node ensures that the worker nodes are up and running. As I told, it's not mandatory that it will just be 2, it can be n number of runtime nodes or the worker nodes. So this tenant management node, as the name itself saying, it's managing the tenant, right? So it's making sure that all of the other nodes are up and running, failover capability for worker nodes, upgrades of worker nodes. So all of the management related things are taken care by this. Now this worker node, it hosts the integration runtime engine where the actual processing, code compilation and running will happen. Responsible for all message processing. So the message processing and transaction are happening on top of these nodes. So when I say there are more applications, there is more load. So there will be more number of messages that we are processing. So that time we will require more worker nodes. Worker nodes perform all the message processing while a tenant management node functions as a supervisor for the worker nodes. Tenant management nodes can bring up the worker nodes, ensure it is up and running all of the time, and keeps a repository of all your integration artifacts. So from the system landscape, it is quite simple that, you might have a client system with which you are interacting. SAP Cloud Integration will be in between, and you will be connecting with the different types of cloud or other systems that you want to connect with. So there can be a development setup for the same. There can be a test setup for the same thing, and there will be a separate production setup for the same. So what they're trying to tell over here is that, the development environment, test environment, production environment is separate, and then they are almost a replication of each other. There's not much difference between the system landscape that is defined. Okay. And in any project, you will have these 3 instances at least. So altogether, that will form your system landscape. SAP Cloud Integration has data and process integration. So there are processes that we are following, and there is a data integration that is also taking place. As an offering, SAP Cloud Integration is divided into 2 parts. SAP Cloud Integration for process integration. In short, it is called as SAP Cloud Integration PI. And then there is another component to it, that is SAP Cloud Platform for Data Services. SAP CIDS. CIDS is the short for this. And for the short for this is CPI. So over here, the focus is more on creating integrated processes where the messages are transformed, they are interconnected, whereas here the focus is on managing the data. ETL can be done over here, refining of the data can be done over here. It can make sure that, all the data related components are in sync with each other, all of those kind of things. The data is of most importance over here, and over here the processes are of utmost importance. SAP Cloud Integration can be accessed via URL for authorized tenant using service user. So this tenant that I'm showing you, this is a tenant, and you are accessing it through the URL directly in the browser. We don't have to install anything using service user. So I am an authorized service user for this. So that's why I can log in over here and use it. But if I even give you this URL, you will not be able to log in over here. So again, it is showing the same thing, that where does SAP Cloud Integration stands? It stands between your SAP and non-SAP on-premise solutions and the different types of cloud applications. It can be SAP, it can be non-SAP. And there is real-time process integration that is happening and the data integration. How many slides are left? Okay, only 3 slides are left. We'll complete this and then I will, give you the break. Okay. So it's giving us a comparison between the integration process and the data service. So what is exactly the objective of process integration? We are creating a step-by-step process which gives us the desired output. So maybe I have a source message which is of employee records. Now I want to check if the employee is eligible from age perspective. So I'm checking its age from the data that I receive. Then I want to also see if, they have completed certain degrees or not, what all qualifications they have. After that, I want to check if, what is their experience, previous experience, what all companies they have worked on. Only after that, it reaches to the target system, if all of that complies. So that is like a step-by-step process where I process this data that is coming from the source system, and then only I give it accordingly to the target system. Here, there is synchronization of data. So I have my application. Some of the applications are on on-premise system. Some are on the cloud environment. But both of them have to be in alignment. So there is a constant synchronization of data that should happen. Otherwise, the information reflected on the cloud environment will be different, and what is reflected on the on-premise system will be different. And then later on, it will create a chaos. The type of interaction that is happening, there is system to system interaction that happens over here. So there is a source system, there is a target system that is interacting. Same over here, it is also system to system interaction that is happening. So there is a DB over here, there is another DB on the cloud environment, and they both are, technical systems which are synchronizing with each other. How it is coupled to the application? It is coupled to the application on process level. What is the process that we have to follow? Accordingly, we associate with the applications that we create. Here we are not interested in the process. We don't care what process you follow. We are interested only on the data points, the data values. Here the primary trigger is any of the application event that happens. So when will this chain of process triggered? When will this be running? Whenever there is an application event. So maybe there is a request that comes in. Maybe there can be a change of state that is happening. So application event also means, if I'll give you a very simple example. So when you are running a online business and I receive a order. So there is a change of state that happens. When the order is received, you generate an order ID. Now, according to this order, whatever you have received the order, that is an event, you will start behaving accordingly, right? If I get an order for sending shoes, the customer has purchased the shoes, I will process the shoes, right? I will not process books. So it depends upon the event that has occurred. Scheduled. So data synchronization, when the data synchronization happens on a particular schedule. Okay, so I will be setting the schedule that every 1 hour the data should be synchronized, or every 1 minute the data should be synchronized. Okay, depending upon what kind of a business we are dealing with, depending upon what kind of a data we are dealing with, we decide the schedule. Urgency of completion. So over here, the processes are completed on real-time basis. So as soon as I will get the, requirement or the order, I will start processing that order. Whereas this is done on the batch level. So how, the synchronization of data as it is scheduled. So why did we even schedule it? Because we want to do it at a batch level. So every minute there is a change in the data that is happening. But if I make concurrent request every minute, I might not get the best kind of performance. So what will I do? I will wait for 1 hour, because every 1 hour we want to do the synchronization. I will wait for 1 hour, and in that 1 hour, a batch of requests will get generated, right? Maybe 10, 15, 20. And then directly within, few minutes, when the schedule is there, we will be synchronizing that data in the two systems. Unit of data exchange over here is single business objects. Single business objects means over here, the purchase order is a single business object. Invoice is a single business object. Employee is a single business object. When I'm processing employee information, I am dealing with a business object. Okay, anything that is used within the landscape is basically your business objects. What all do you deal with? You deal with materials, you deal with sales order, you deal with purchase order, you deal with employee records, you deal with customer records, you deal with products. All of those things are termed as your business objects. So what are you processing? You might be processing any of these things, right? So that is the unit of exchange that is happening here. Here it is your bulk data which you are dealing with. How much sense is it making? If you have a doubt, please ask right now, or you can take some time to understand it on your own. And then if you have doubt, again, after the breakfast break, you can ask, okay? Now, again, we saw that there is something that was hosted on the on-premise system. This system is already there, okay? This is the new thing that is coming into the market. But again, this is also there in the market from past 3-4 years, but people are still just learning it because the first few years for any of the tool or technology are the initial years. Nobody adapts to it very quickly. There are developers who are already working on this from the past 10 years. Nobody wants to learn a new thing so quickly. Okay, so this is your, you look at the cloud and the on-premise thing to understand which is the old thing and which is the new thing. Okay, so this SAP NetWeaver PIPO, process integration, process orchestration, was the on-premise tool. And then you have got your new SAP cloud integration tool, which is also called as PI system, process integration system. How are they different from each other? So there is a comparison that they are showing us. From the deployment perspective, again, this is hosted on the cloud environment. This is hosted on the on-premise system. The responsibility of configuration on operations over here is with SAP. Over here, it's going to be with the customer because it's hosted on the customer's on-premise system. License model. So earlier, there used to be product license and annual fees that we would pay to SAP. Now it is a subscription-based model. We take subscription and we pay the subscription fees. That's it. Architecture-wise, so it was a single tenant solution, whereas this is a multi-tenant solution. Over here, if failover would happen, the customer was responsible for managing it. Okay, but over here we have got the automated failover. And additionally, we have got virtualization, data isolation, and these kind of additional benefits. Pre-packaged content, it is available over here and it was available over here also. Operations are managed by SAP Cloud Managed Services. Okay, and they are integrated with the service provider cockpit. That is the similar to your BTP cockpit. Over here, all of the operations one has to be managed by the customer. You see the overburden that we had on this tool. Responsibility for managing all of the configuration. Okay? Again, if failover is happening, we have to take care of it. Again, all of the operations have to be managed by us. So there's a lot of overhead activities that we have to do. Here we got rid of all of those things. So why would anyone choose to use the SAP PIPO system or SAP Cloud Integration System? So people will choose using SAP PIPO system when they want to leverage the existing investments that they have already made on this tool, where the systems are mainly all on the on-premise system. Okay, and where in their landscape there are few or no cloud integrations that they require. After comparison, you have to make a decision also, right? So this is what they're trying to say. These will be the key things if someone chooses SAP, the PIPO system, that is the on-premise tool. So there can be multiple reasons. One of the reasons is they have already invested in it and they want to make the best use of it. Their main integrations and everything, all of the things are on the on-premise environment only. They're not interested in going to the cloud environment. Few or no cloud integrations are there for them. In SAP Cloud Integration, why will people choose this one? To focus on building and developing cloud integration. Their requirement is for cloud to cloud or on-premise to cloud integrations. They have no intention or they don't want to use the on-premise middleware. They prefer the subscription-based model over the license-based model. There is when they want to achieve faster innovation and implementation using the standard content. As I said, prepackaged content and all are available. It will be faster for us to implement something. And because we have completed our basic job within the given time, before time, you have more time to innovate things. That brings us to the end of today's discussion, the technical discussion that we have to do, the understanding that we have to do. So after the breakfast break, you can go through this. So this is in your module number 2. I think it will be module number 3 from your perspective. Let me go here. You can go for your breakfast break, and if there are any doubts, let's connect at 11 and check if you have any queries or doubts. Okay. You'll be able to find this, right? It is inside the SAP Cloud Integration module. SAP
Yes,
Cloud Integration Overview is the topic name. Okay. Okay. So, yep, you can go for your breakfast break. Yes, Aniket, all the PPTs are in video format. So just pause them and go through them. PPT we can't share. That's the reason why they were converted into the video format, because we don't want you to download those PPTs as you are still not part of Accenture. Okay. So it is like there's like a background reason to all of this. So, but that's okay. You have all of the course material. Just pause the video and read through it. That's it, right? Okay. So we'll meet at 11.
Sai, kati ko tarat ko sa. Apa ako urfane na tiya to urfane hum devo dambi ka na. urfane hospital ಗೋಳಿ ಹೋದತ್ ಸರ್.
Guys, everyone, please go on mute.
ಸರ್.
We all can hear your personal discussions. Please go on mute.
పైకి లే జనరల్ పైకి లే ఇది చావాల్సిన చోటు కాదు क्यों नदी पट्टी का फोन स्विच ऑफ है तो बार बार फोन करो हाँ भाई मैं वही कर रहा हूँ
Hi everyone, hope everyone is back from the breakfast break and you're doing your self study. I'm there, I'm doing my own work. So, in between, if you want to ask something, you can unmute and ask. Okay.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
करें आंटी 2 बार हम आओ तिरुपति गए ना
Hey, Nikhil, please mute yourself.
It can be measurable, it can be accountable, it can be measurable, it can be analyzable, and decision making is much more easy. That should happen in a sequential way, one after the other, one after the other. In the business suit, let us try to understand what is the now 5 customers give some in replay taken place. Not on a real-time basis, it's going to happen with. Hybrids and software, that's success factors. It is capable of doing it. Say, for example, if you just look at this slide, this SAP success factor is going to be dealt with your employees' performance, recruitment, so many other things. See here, the performance and the goals which you can set for your employees. Okay, and then the field class is coming to your nothing but your what do you call it as a contingent workforce management. See, there are various things are there which you can just